This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more.
Show your move. Good news, everyone.
Welcome to 20th Century Boy. My name is... I don't have a name. Guy, if you're new to the podcast, I've already fucked it. I start every episode with a different version of my name suggested by the listeners. And I don't have one this time. I'm just looking at the Discord where the group chat. Oh my God, I fucked this. I should just start it all again, but we're not doing it. My name is Moistio Mike, and this is the inside of my mind. That one comes in from Radio Superstar Pat, a high-class listener of the show. Welcome to the podcast. Sorry, if this is the first one of these podcasts you're listening to, wow, they don't always open like that. So essentially, every time I start an episode of this podcast for the past few weeks, I come up with a new name. We've had Radio Waves Michelangelo. We've had Romeo Montague. This week it was Moistio Mike from Radio Superstar Pat. And that's just a fun way we can start the show. Moistio Mike certainly sounds a little bit disgusting, but yeah, welcome to the podcast. This podcast is called 20th Century Boy. It's a podcast by me, Radio Mike, a radio and podcast producer from here in Melbourne, Australia, trying to make his way through the rough and tumble of being alive in his 20s. Soon to be 26, actually. My 26th birthday is on Saturday, the 12th of December, 2020. 2 days away from the day that this episode of the podcast comes out. But I would like to start this week's podcast by saying I expect no happy 26th birthday messages. I expect only happy 25th birthday messages. And that is because last year on the 12th of December, 2019, an episode of this podcast came out and I said that I was turning 25. It came out on my birthday and I said, whenever you listen to that episode, send me a message saying happy 25th birthday. Essentially, immortalizing me as a 25-year-old forever. I'm still getting messages to this day from people on Instagram, people all over the world, possibly, I don't know where they're located, to be honest, saying happy 25th birthday, Mike. And I really like that. I will never not be 25. So on my 26th birthday, give me the best present of all. Give me the gift of being 25 forever. Say happy 25th birthday to me on my 26th birthday so I can never really age. This podcast is the only winnable podcast in the world. That is one of our main selling points. We are the only podcast in the entire world that you can win. You, as a listener, are competing in the game of this podcast. How do you win? Right now, wherever you are, wherever you're standing, wherever you're sitting, wherever you're swimming, assume you're not swimming, whatever you are doing, do a 360. Yeah, Xbox 360. Spin around, spin around, spin around, spin around. If you happen to see me right now, in the time that you were spinning around on the spot, at this point of listening to the podcast, you've won the podcast. Come up to me, you win the podcast ends forever. Once someone wins, they've won the podcast is over. Getting easier to win the podcast. I'm out and about a lot. Melbourne is freed up. We don't have to wear masks anymore. Going out to dinner, going out to drinks, having a good time. You know, having a great time in Melbourne. I am out and about. You may see me. You cannot set it up. It has to be a coincidence that you see me. You cannot camp outside my house or my work or etc. Has to be a coincidence. Good luck. I hope you win the podcast. As well as that, as I always say, this podcast goes up both as an audio form on your favorite podcasting platform, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Pocket Casts, Deezer, whatever Deezer is. You always see Deezer, but I have no idea what Deezer is. And it goes up as a video form on YouTube. And in every single YouTube version of the podcast, there is a hidden Mikey. Sort of like Disney's hidden Mickeys, where they put Mickey Mouse heads in films that are hidden. There is a hidden picture of me for a single frame in every video. If you find one, you win a prize. This week, the prize is, I'm just going to put this out there, the last season of Game of Thrones on DVD, because I just, it was being thrown away at my work, so I just decided to take it. That's the prize. Season 8 of Game of Thrones on DVD. I've never watched it. It's still in its shrink wrap. You can sell it on Gumtree. If you find this week's Hidden Mikey, I will send it to you. You just have to send me the timestamp. And yeah, so go subscribe on the YouTube, etc. And one more thing before we get really into it, because there's a little bit to discuss. Thank you to everyone who has been using Mike's monthly reaction pick. This was something I launched last week because I have a habit of choosing random images of random things and starting to use them as a thumbs up emoji. For example, currently it's a picture of Crabbe, Draco Malfoy's friend in Harry Potter. I just send a picture of Crabbe from Harry Potter instead of a thumbs up emoji. That has been picking up. So please, for the next month, instead of using a thumbs up in your conversations, use a picture of Crabbe from Harry Potter. If you don't have a picture of Crabbe from Harry Potter on your phone, just use the Crabbe emoji. Thank you very much for everyone who has been participating in that. Now, I do need to get into something that some of you may have heard already on another show, but it's come to my attention, and this was a detour that I literally figured out as soon as just as I was about to start recording this podcast. There are sticker packs you can purchase for the podcast, radiomike.com.au, $20 plus shipping. It's how you support the show. If you'd like to support the show, it helps keep the lights on here at Radio Mike Production, helps all our content keep running from week to week. I'm wearing my AirPods. I just realized I'm wearing my AirPods. I'm just going to take those out. I got a pair of AirPods this week. They are really cool. I really like them. Maybe I'll talk about them later. Sticker packs, 5 great stickers. It came to my attention, and it's incredible no one has noticed this, or maybe you haven't, you've been too polite. I'm really not sure. At the start of every podcast, I usually say something like, my name is Radio Mike, and this is the inside of my mind. There is a great sticker that comes in the sticker pack that says the inside of my mind, and it's a picture of me and my head exploding. I think it's really cool, and it was designed by someone, radio superstar Pat, actually, who was mentioned earlier. He designed all the stickers for me. He's a great listener of the show, and I really appreciate all of the work that he has done on the show. It came to my attention today after I've sold several sticker packs. Many people have these stickers, presumably they have stuck the stickers on things as well. I've certainly got all mine on the back of my laptop. It has come to my attention that the stickers have been printed with a typo, designed and printed and sold with a typo. And this is really, really crazy. I want to call radio superstar Pat, the designer of these, right now to check if he noticed, because I didn't notice until Lewis Spears from the Luke and Lewis podcast told me today that he noticed it and talked about it on his podcast. So I'm going to give Pat a call and just fill him in and fill you guys in on what's gone wrong here. Let's dial the number in now. Pat does not know what this is about, so I'm going to give him a call. It is ringing. Let's see what he has to say.
Mikey.
Pat, thank you for picking up. I just asked you for your number on Discord, by the way. So you were expecting the call, but you don't know what this is about.
No, I have zero clue.
Okay, cool. Pat, thank you for taking the call. I really appreciate it. How have you been? I hope you've been well through COVID and everything.
Yeah, I've been all right, man. Just keeping busy, doing whatever.
Yeah, great. And you've been a loyal listener of this show for quite a long time. Like, you're one of the, you're a great listener of the pod. We love having you on board. You're a radio superstar, which is one of the higher tiered listeners of the show.
Mate, please, I can only take so much.
And also, you were the designer behind the sticker packs for the show, which is a great, commercial endeavor of the show. And you did a great job designing those.
Yeah, thank you, man. And to any listeners who haven't picked up a sticker pack yet, I think you should. They're pretty good stickers, reasonably priced. Keep the lights on at Mikey Productions.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, it's funny you say that, because I actually posted an Instagram story today of the stickers on the back of my laptop, and I think you'd agree they look really good, and you designed them. They look great, right?
Oh, look, maybe this sounds a bit biased, but I would say that those are some of the greatest stickers, and I would even go as far as to say that if you applied them on your said laptop, phone, car, whatever, that would automatically make you superior. Yeah, great. And would you say that the designer of these stickers is a good designer that does a really good job? Like, would you, say you weren't him, would you vouch for this person? Man, I would give my life for this person, Okay. Yeah, great. Well, it's come to my attention, actually, Pat, that embarrassingly, well, if you can you open my Instagram story and have a look at that photo on the back of my laptop? Yeah, sure. Let me just look you up. Yeah, great. No, take your time, man. Great. Radio Mike, 2 hours ago. Grab a sticker pack at radiomike.com.au. You got Lovable Nerd. Yeah. Take a look at the stickers. Is there anything
weird about any of them at all.
Is there something I'm meant to be looking for? Is there a certain area of the photo?
Look at the inside of my mind sticker. Take a look at that and just read it out to me.
The inside of my mind.
Read it again.
The inside of my mind.
Read it one more time. Read every word.
The inside. Have I made a typo?
Just read every word you see. Don't skip any words.
The inside of my. Oh my fucking god.
What does it say? Read it out again.
How did I not pick this up? What the fuck?
So
God.
for everyone listening who can't see that, the sticker says the inside of my, and then on another line it says my mind. So it says the inside of my mind. And
Holy shit.
I don't blame you, Pat, because what I'm going to say is this got through you designing it, me approving it, me printing it, and also several people have purchased the stickers and no one has mentioned this or picked it up. But there is a very clear error on the stickers.
No, that's more than a clear. That's more than a clear error. That's like a dyslexia diagnosis or something.
It's like if you bought a Nike shirt and it said "Just do it." Like it's
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god! Wow. Okay. Wow. That's.
Yeah. So it has come.
I mean, look. I mean, I would argue that makes it a bit more exclusive. You know, like maybe. Like, I mean, look. I don't know if you'd be inclined to work with this designer again. In fact, you know, you said before about give my life to them. Oh, I don't know about that, but I mean, I think these will just make it even more rare. You know, a little Nike collector's item.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So here's what I'm going to offer to anyone who has bought a sticker. Obviously, we offer a warranty here and they are defective. So if you do want to, what Pat is going to do, hopefully, is make a proper sticker that doesn't say "my" twice, right? And then
I will 100% do that. I will make sure multiple times that it doesn't say "mine" more than once.
And then I'm going to reprint them. If you want a replacement that just says the inside of my mind, I will send you a replacement. But here's what I will say. The stickers that say the inside of my mind are now an exclusive limited edition Radio Mike merch, and they are going to sell separately on the website for...
No way.
Yeah, they're going to sell separately on the website for a special price because I'm never going to print any more. They are very, very limited edition. So go to radiomike.com.au after this. If you want one of just the inside of my mind stickers, you can get one. It's a limited edition, and I will throw in a Release the Sound sticker as well. So that's the
a
offer.
Pretty good offer. I think you should get on to radiomike.com.au. Get on those stickers. I think they'd be pretty good.
But
I mean, minus the whole mistake, but that's
Yeah.
just what makes it special.
That's what makes it special. And definitely
Exactly.
don't go to radiomike.com. Don't make that mistake.
Now, that's someone who I wouldn't give my life to. That's the exact opposite I'd give my life to.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I've got you as a fan. Pat, thank you so much. Sorry about all this trouble, and I hope we can fix it all up.
No, that's all right. If anyone's to be sorry, it's me.
I agree, man. It's your fault.
Yeah, no, that's completely on me. No, like, it's not a laughing matter. That's just, like, I'm trying to comprehend how I did not see that. I didn't.
But no one did. That's why it's so funny. Like, literally no one has noticed it that I've sent it to.
I know, that's amazing. Man.
Thanks for joining me, man.
No worries. Thanks for having me on. Sorry, radio family. Bye.
So there you go. A very blatant issue. If you're watching the video, I'll obviously have it on the screen now where you can see it. And I might post some of the older designs that Pat did. I'll look through our conversation history and just see what it originally was and see where this mistake arose. But, oh man. So yeah, those are now limited edition stickers. They will be up on radiomike.com.au as separate merch, and I'll order the proper ones in as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty funny that no one who has bought the stickers, and a few people have, no one has noticed. I actually just dispatched some today, and I put in the inside of my mind sticker. So I don't know, guys, enjoy. Up the top here, sort of as well. We're not really at the top of the pod anymore, but like, I wanted to do a massive thanks because obviously everyone's doing their Spotify Wrapped and posting all their favorite pods and stuff like that. And I actually did the Spotify Wrapped for 20th Century Boy. And surprisingly to me, honestly, and it may not sound like much, but we were actually we were number 96 in comedy podcasts in Australia. Now, I guess like, you know, 96 top 100 comedy podcasts in Australia. For me, that's amazing. Like I genuinely could never have even dreamt of being in the top 100 comedy podcasts in Australia. And there are so many good comedy podcasts out there. So for me to see that was really cool. And that's just for Spotify, of course, but I don't know, I just think that's a really cool thing. And the last month or two of this pod, I don't know why, but it's just been booming. Like people, you guys, and that's what I want to say. Like it's all you guys. Like if you've listened to this pod, if you've shared this pod, if you've talked to friends about this pod, if you've given this podcast a shot, you helped me get there and you helped me achieve something that really means a lot to me. And it would be awesome to crack like top 75 next year. I don't know if that's possible, but like genuinely means a lot that all of you listen. And I'm looking at the charts of like the numbers of downloads and the YouTube as well. YouTube, obviously, I've been uploading a lot more regularly, just different videos and full videos of the pods and stuff like that. And like that's been growing. The YouTube's been growing in terms of views and subscribers, which is awesome. Everything's really growing and I'm really happy about it and I really love it. And I'm so glad. It felt so good to see number 96. And last week's shows in particular got a lot of incredibly good feedback. I did a really big rave about why I hate people who celebrate Christmas in November, and that seemed to be really divisive, but a lot of people seem to really like that. Radio Scooter, welcome to the Radio Family, Radio Scooter. He said the last pod, as in last week's pod, had so many legit laugh out loud moments. My favorite of the year. Thanks, Scooter, for that. And Radio James Ford, welcome to the Radio Family, Radio James Ford, speaking about the Mike Talks with Jack Post, which was last Friday, which exploded. Like so many people listened. People were saying that me and Jack should do a weekly podcast, which is something I'd love to do because I actually just thought it was so fun and so funny doing that pod with Jack. He said, honestly, that Jack Mike Talks made my day. I've listened to some parts about 20 times, which is awesome. So there is a Mike Talks tomorrow. I am really, really excited about it. And I'm just going to break the news who it is. Tomorrow's Mike Talks will be with Ryan Shelton. If you've followed this pod for a while, you will know that Ryan Shelton is genuinely one of my comedy idols. He is one of the people that I think is one of the funniest, craftiest, quirkiest writers and I've ever seen. I loved his stuff, and it was a really, really good chat. I'm so excited for you to hear it. So please check it out. It was so awesome. Ryan is just one of the funniest and nicest guys ever. So, being able to chat to him on my pod. And when I first started this pod, like I remember thinking, oh, if I could get Ryan Shelton on, that would be so good. And like that may be a reality, which is awesome. As far as my week has been, it's been really good. I've been really tired. Things are getting quite busy, like to finish up the year, particularly with editing podcasts. As I said, I bought myself some AirPods. Fucking love these. They are so good. And like, here's the thing about me. I actually wasn't planning on talking about it, but I will. There's this thing about me. I, at multiple points in my life, I am really bad at gauging what is going to become popular, right? I genuinely remember like various points and often related to Apple, right? I actually remember when iPod Touch first came out. And I think the iPod Touch came out before iPhone ever came out. Like in some ways, the iPod Touch was almost like a precursor to the iPhone. And I remember when they launched the App Store, right? Some of you may be too young to remember this, but there was a point in time where the word app, the term app was like not mainstream. Like, and I remember the ads they had on TV being like, head to the App Store and download some of our great apps, right? And I remember seeing that and just thinking, oh my God, apps, that is the lamest try hard thing ever. And no one will ever start using the word apps. No one is ever going to download apps. This is so try hard of Apple. This is so lame and cringy. Apps will never take off. Now in 2020, I regularly use the term app, download apps, etc., etc. Just I suck at trend setting. I suck at what's going to be big. Same thing with the iPad. I remember the iPad got revealed. I'm like, who would want that? Why would anyone use that? Now, iPad's massive. Exact same thing with AirPods. I remember just thinking Bluetooth headphones will just never take off. No one will ever want to use them. They'll run out of battery so much, and AirPods just look so stupid. Why would anyone use AirPods? They suck. Now, I love AirPods. I used to, maybe it's just Apple. Maybe I just have this thing where I want Apple to fail. But then, because I was a PC user for so long, I remember at uni, I was the only person in class using a HP laptop. Everyone else had MacBooks. Even at work, when I started working, everyone had Macs. I had an Android and a HP laptop. And I just was so resistant to go over to Apple because I was like, no, PC, man. PC is so good. Finally just bit the bullet, got an iPhone and got a Mac. And it was the best change I've ever made. Mac is awesome. Once you go Mac, you never go back. Mac is just, it's just everything works. Everything is so easy and efficient. Like, this is not an ad for Mac. I just love, I just think, I hated apps. I hated iPad. I hated iPhone. I hated AirPods. And look at me now. I'm the biggest mind changer of all time. And I find it really funny. I'm sure there are other examples of things that I just thought would never become popular that did. I just can't think of them right now. But what was your thing that you just looked at when it came out and you're like, no one would ever do this. No one would ever like it. And like, it's still like that. Let me know. I'd be very keen to know your thoughts. I did a video on YouTube this week. And thank you all for watching and subscribing there, Radio Mike on YouTube, about a band that I really like called The Network. And The Network, and I explain it probably more elaborately in the video, but I just wanted to talk about it and talk about some of the tracks here. But The Network are a secret new wave synth rock kind of side project of Green Day, the punk rock band. So secret that they pretend that it's not them in the band. Like, the members of Green Day pretend they're not associated with The Network, but it's very obvious that they are. And they put out an album this week called Money Money 2020 Part 2, the follow-up to their 2003 debut album Money Money 2020. Money, money, 2020. Money, money, 2020. And I've just been loving it. Their music is, yeah, like I said, like this synth new wave kind of style music, like 80s post-punk sort of, you know, weird, spacey, robotic, electronic sounding. It's very weird. There's not much out there that sounds like it. And it's kind of like a parody of the genre, I feel like. I feel like it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's just a really cool sound that I've been really liking, and I've always wanted to kind of talk about it on this. They had, on their first album, Money Money 2020, they had this really, really cool song called Rochambeau, which was just this really great, like, yeah, post-punk sounding synthy song. For the audio listeners of the pod, I'll put some sound of it here, but for video listeners, I don't, because it gets copyrighted and taken down. And they also had a song on that album called Transistors Gone Wild, which I really loved. It was just a really weird, almost like a concept album about the future, like a dystopian future. And the main character is called Joe Robot. And like, it's really wacky and cool. Go listen to it. It's alive. It's Joe Robot. Have Tin Can, have Joe Robot. Where is it going? That song Transistors Gone Wild has this lyric that I always really thought was just a really cool lyric where it's like, my brain is melting and it smells like a volcano. And I just always thought that was such good writing. Like, it's such a like a vicious metaphor or a vicious kind of simile. And I always really enjoyed that song for that as well. Give me murder, give me lies, turn the city into dust, man. My brain is melting and it smells like a volcano. But yeah, they've put out this second album, Money Money 2020 Part 2, and it's really, really cool. There's 25 tracks. It's 55 minutes. And I've been really enjoying it. There's some really cool, snarky, like, as I said, I think it's like really tongue-in-cheek. There's a bit of like satire in there. It's quite political. There's like references to Elon Musk.
Hey, Elon, you left your radio on, and now your spaceship's batteries are dead.
To Netflix and like cancel culture and outrage and all those kind of different themes that I really like. And there's this really funny song called Flat Earth where again, it's all satire and he's pretending to be a flat earther. And I really, really like it as well.
Flat Earth, that's what we're living on. If you think the world is round, you're totally wrong. Flat Earth, that's what we're living on. If you think the world is round, then you're probably a moron. Vision to a massive.
And just like this loose concept of the main character of this album, who in the second last track has like ended up on another planet and is having like an existential crisis. And it's really weird, wacky, quirky music that like there's no mainstream appeal of it at all. It's not mainstream at all. And I think that's why, Green Day doesn't want to put it out as Green Day, because they just want to do something that's not normal. But basically this really almost creepy moment in the second last track, I can't even remember the title of it, where the main character of the album, has time traveled to another planet, doesn't know where he is, and is asking himself all these existential questions in a real, like, almost not rock opera, but like in a real, like, on stage theatrical kind of way. And I really think it's really worth a listen, just for a really whacked out experience. Like if you've got an hour to spare and you're like going on a drive and you want to just listen to something really crazy and weird that you're not expecting, just listen to Money Money 2020 Part 2 by The Network. And I just had to talk about it because it's like shaping up to be one of my favorite albums of 2020.
Traveling through time and space, bandages across my face, intergalactic man on the run. Who am I? What have I done? Am I the only...
Speaking of all that thing, earlier in the year, my friend Alex and I experimented with another podcast called Popped, a pop culture podcast. We've put that on hiatus for the time being. Alex is super busy. He's got a proper job. He's got a proper life. He's got a partner, all the adult stuff that I just don't have. But we are really talking about getting together to do a couple special episodes on our favorite albums of 2020, as well as our favorite games of 2020, and have a bit of a discussion on that, and maybe making that podcast a little bit like still doing it, but much more irregularly, just when we feel like there's something to say. So that might be coming back too. Look out for those at the end of the year. And speaking of the end of the year, last year I said we're going to go straight through the new year. What I have decided for 20th Century Boy and possibly Harry Potter and the Boys, my other podcast, which I will plug that an episode came out yesterday with Sammy Garlep, a comedian. And this, again, they just get funnier every time. I loved having Sammy on. I'll put a grab from that episode here because there were so many funny moments that I really, really loved.
Professor Longbottom was suspected by many as an idiotus. In brackets, a magical idiot.
I love how there's a class. It's like, don't mind Neville, he's an idiotus.
Like, oh, he's not just a regular idiot. No, he's a magical idiot.
Professor Lupin's an animagus, Professor Longbottom, idiotus. Magical idiot. You can learn all about that in History of Magic with Professor Beans.
Professor Beans. Oh, terrible name.
Again, Harry Potter and the Boys is taking off. It's a lot of fun. There's so many listens. I'm kind of scared it's going to become bigger than this pod, which wouldn't be a bad thing. It's just like, I don't know, like Harry Potter has just such a broader appeal than Radio Mike. So hopefully, like I really want that to keep growing. So please share it around and go and listen and leave a review to all that. All videos go up on YouTube as well. So check them out for sure. So I believe this year, I think Christmas Eve or the 24th of December, I think, or 23rd or 24th, one of those is a Thursday. And this pod comes out on Thursday. So what I've decided is, the last episode of season 2, in inverted commas, the last episode of season 2 of this podcast will come out on that day. I think it's the 24th. So the 24th will be the last episode of season 2. There will then be a Christmas special episode, as I said, a non-canon Christmas special with me, intern Mike, Siggy Mike, and editor Mike. That will come out on the 25th on Christmas Day. That'll be out, so feel free to listen to that. I'll try and do a video animation version as well. And from there, we will take the next week off. So I really just want to have that sort of 7 days or 5 days between Christmas and New Year's just to unwind. I really love Christmas. I love spending it with my family. I love just kind of being at home with my parents and my brother and seeing my family and cousins. Like, I love that about Christmas. I have quite a small family, especially for an Italian family. We have quite a small family. So it's going to be really nice to just spend some time with family, not do the podcast for a week and then officially kick off season 3. I'll just check my calendar right now and check when that first episode for season 3 will be. So it'll be I'm going to take off the 31st of December. So I'll do all the New Year's stuff. And then from the 7th of January, that'll be season 3. And we'll just go through hopefully for the year, whatever happens. But yeah, so there will be a 1 week gap of content, like podcast content at least, where I can take a bit of a break and enjoy that family time and that holiday time. So yeah, that's when there's a couple more episodes for the year, and then we'll be back on 7th of January, which will be awesome. I'm really excited for it. All right, on to some of our more regular / semi-regular segments, and let us do, wow, this is very exciting. Let's do this. This is the podcast Pokemon Card Trading Network, a segment we have been doing all year where I have been trying to finish my original Pokemon card collection because I found this folder at my mom and dad's place, and I realized there are some Pokemon cards from the original set. It's really the original few sets, which is the base set, the fossil set, and the jungle set that I've been trying to complete. There were some I just never had, and over the years I've been slowly trying to complete the collection. There are still a few that are missing, but there is an update on this. But first, I actually want to do a shout out to the podcast's very first ever sponsor. And this is really exciting because the people over at Angel Grove Collectibles here in Melbourne, which is a collectibles store that does all kinds of just really awesome figurines and cards and collectibles and stuff like that, across a bunch of different themes: geek culture, nerd culture, Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, Pokemon, My Hero Academia, Power Rangers, anything geeky that you like, they've got something for it. angelgrovecollectibles.com is the website, and they supported the show this week. They caught wind of us trying to finish up our Pokemon card collection, so they actually sent a Charizard Elite Trainer collector box, which contains 10 Pokemon booster packs. I'm holding them up in the video version. And I opened the first one. I did an unboxing on YouTube, so go and check out the video. And I still have 9 booster packs left. So I'm going to be doing periodically, I'm going to be opening those. These are obviously new cards, so they don't help us complete the old collection, but I still think it's really fun. And apparently there is a very rare card that you can get in one of these booster packs. Very rare chance. And it's like a rainbow Charizard that's worth like $3,000. So I really hope I get that. But we'll see how we go. I'm going to be doing videos of that over on the YouTube. But onto the original card collection. We are making a lot of headway because I did a trade with Radio Alex Sky. Welcome back to the Radio family, Radio Alex Sky, really loyal listener of the show. One of the cards that I have been searching for and unsuccessfully trying to get for a long time, the holo fossil Gengar card. And Alex Sky has come through with the goods. The Gengar card is in my possession. We did think, because it was taking so long to arrive, we actually feared that it got lost in the post. We actually were really worried that it had been lost in the post and we were just never going to receive the cards and there was just no way to replace them. We were really upset. I talked about that a few weeks ago on the pod, but we were proven wrong because they all arrived at my work a few days ago, 4 weeks after they were sent, which seems very late. And look at that, Gengar. I've got the card. Not only did he send the Gengar card, but he also sent me a few less rare cards that I just didn't have copies of, which is the Psyduck card and the Dugtrio card. Again, holding them up for the video listeners. And another card, the Articuno shiny card, the legendary Articuno, the Ice Bird. I've got that because currently the only Articuno card that I have is like a promo card for one of the Pokemon movies. So I only have that one. But now I've got the official Articuno card. Really excited about that. And looking at my collection now, I actually think we're nearly there. The only card now that I don't have the original of, I think, is the Dragonite original. I only have this Dragonite, which is like a another movie promo Dragonite card. Like, I think when the Pokemon movies used to come out, you'd get them on VHS and they'd come with like a bunch of promotional cards. But other than that, I actually think we've pretty much finished the collection. There is one card left. Oh my God, guys, this is amazing. I have one card left to complete my original Pokemon card collection. If I get this card, I will officially have every single original Pokemon card that is possible to get. The only card I have left is the Dragonite card. If you have the Dragonite card, if you know everyone with the Dragonite card, I will pay money for it. I will trade for it. I will do whatever you want. Not anything, but I will do a lot of things to get the final card in this collection. And then we can go onwards and upwards and do other I don't know. We can just keep going. Oh my God. Yeah, very, very excited. Please let me know if you have the Dragonite collectible card. I will do pretty much anything. I'm not going to do that though. I know what you were thinking. I'm not doing that. But yeah, it's been really cool. And again, a huge shout out to Angel Grove Collectibles. I think it's really cool to have them sort of reach out, and happy to kind of like go along with the content of the show and participate in the show in the way that they have. So again, head over to the YouTube if you want to watch some vids of me unboxing these booster packs, which is a lot of fun. And I'm really excited. Just looking at them gives me a dopamine surge. So I'm super excited for that. And of course, angelgrovecollectibles.com. Go and buy something I think they've got a Christmas sale up. So go and grab something off there. I've been looking at their site every day, just trying to find some cool stuff for Christmas, because I love my collectibles. Like, I've got a bunch of figurines and a bunch of amiibo and different like figure pop vinyls and stuff like that. I've got a bunch of Digimon stuff. I've got a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff, heaps of Nintendo stuff. I'm a huge geek and I love all this stuff. So this is like the store if you're into that. And like, when it comes to sponsors, like, I'm so happy to just flog sponsors like this because they're so awesome. Like, you know, it's something that I genuinely would want. So it's really cool. I highly encourage you to go check it out. Speaking of collections, very quickly, I posted a photo on Instagram this week and people loved this. It got a lot of attention. When I was at high school, I used to collect energy drink cans. I had over 300 energy drink cans. I used to have every flavor of V, every flavor of Mother, every flavor of Rockstar, every flavor of Monster. It was just a weird hobby I had where I would collect the cans to different energy drinks. And I also had a spreadsheet where I'd rate them and review each one on their flavor, their fizz, how energized I felt afterwards, and different criteria like that. And I posted this photo and people seemed to think it was really funny. I went into my workplace to actually pick up the Pokemon cards the other day. And one of the engineers, Gino, he's a great guy, great mate of mine, he was like, "Hey, Mike, there's some energy drinks in the fridge if you want them." So I went to grab like this weird energy drink that wasn't very good. Actually caught the attention of a regional radio station in the Hunter Valley. Where is the Hunter Valley? I should check. I don't know where the Hunter Valley is. I think it's in New South Wales, but I could be wrong. Just going to do a cheeky little Google of that while I keep talking. Hunter Valley, the Hunter region in New South Wales. So it's I guess it's near-ish to Sydney, or it's like that would be the closest capital city. Dana and who's the other guy on the show? Harry and Dana. Breakfast with Harry and Dana, weekdays from 6 a.m, Power 98 FM. Got in touch with me. They wanted to call me and talk to me on their show because they thought this energy drink thing was so quirky and weird. So I went on the show and I just wanted to cut a bit of the audio from the interview I did for you here because I thought it was really fun and very funny.
He posted this photo of him, like it would have been about 10 years ago, and he had the most bizarre collection as a child. I've never ever, it's like stamp collection, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
You know, Tarzo collection, fair enough. Pokemon cards, all good. He has an energy drink can collection.
Okay.
I've never heard of this before. Like V cans. I don't even know that Monster cans. I don't even know any other types of energy drinks, but he had them all lined up above his window, like on his windowsill.
Okay, so Mike joins us on 654 11981. Now's your chance for right of reply, Mike. Defend yourself. What's with this energy drink can collection?
Well, I'll also say, Dana, thank you for throwing shade at me. I also have a Pokemon card collection, so I'm happy to talk about that as well.
Oh, no.
I'm not surprised.
That's relatively normal. Energy drink can collection. Where did this come from?
Yeah. I don't actually know what started it, but I think it was just like, I was in year 9 at high school, and everyone just used to drink energy drink cans before. Well, they didn't drink the cans; they just drank the drink.
But was it a thing that?
And then, sorry, what was that?
Was it a thing that your friends did as well, or was it just a very unique Mike scenario?
It was just me. Like, I used to just bring the cans home and put them on my windowsill, and then I just decided I was going to, anytime I saw an energy drink can that I hadn't got, I would just have to buy it and add it to the collection, and I ended up with over 300 cans.
It's quite the effort. But I feel like, Mike, wouldn't you also be collecting ants? Because wouldn't they be sticky and coming into your bedroom?
I used to wash them out. There was a process to it. So what I would do is I would taste the energy drink. I had a spreadsheet where I rated different aspects of the energy drink, including flavour, fizz, how energized I felt after drinking it. And I think I still have that spreadsheet somewhere. And then I would wash it out and put it on the windowsill, so it was very good.
So what are we talking? We're talking like every flavour of V, every flavour of Red Bull.
Yeah, different flavours of V, like Mother, Rockstar. The best one, and I don't think they actually make it anymore, but I distinctly remember my favourite one was called Wicked Energy, and I think it was a Coles exclusive. I don't believe that it exists anymore, but it was very good. It's surprising that one of the more home brand energy drinks was actually the best one.
I feel like we've ignited a passion in you again, Mike.
I kind of like people that are passionate about stuff. I'm kind of getting into this as well. So how did it end? Like, what happened? Did you get rid of all of the tins of drink?
Yeah, so my dad never liked it. Dad just thought it was ridiculous that I had all these cans in his house. And I think what happened was at some point in childhood, my brother moved out of home. He was an adult. I was still technically a child. And I moved into his bedroom, which was bigger, and I had to make this big decision about whether or not I keep the energy drink cans. And Dad was like, I think it's time. So I took them out of my room, put them in a garbage bin, and sort of like I was putting a dog down, I just crushed the cans in the garbage bag, and it was a really difficult thing for me to do after all those years.
Now you should have just taken it down to the recycling plant. You probably get $40 for it.
At least, yeah. What a crushing emotional moment.
It into a new collection.
Well, this got me thinking on 654 11981. What did you collect as a child? Because mine wasn't nearly as extravagant with spreadsheets and that, but I had Beanie Kids. You know those little teddy bears?
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, they were expensive, weren't they?
Yeah, like $10 a pop.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's take your collections. What did you collect as a kid? 654 11981. We'll take your calls on this one next here at Power FM.
Massive thanks to Dana, who reached out to me and got that happening, and it was really fun. And here's one thing I wanted to share, just nearing the end of the pod, but not quite over. But one thing I wanted to share about 2020 and what I've learned and what I would like to pass on as advice to anyone who would like to listen is that, and this is getting oddly philosophical, but that's what this podcast has been about the whole time. It's about me exploring my mental health through my obsession with popular culture and me just trying to make my way through the rough and tumble, blah, blah, blah. You heard it all at the top. This year, a lot of my life, a lot of my adult life from being like 18 and being at school was me trying to be someone I'm not to make as many people like me and think I'm as cool as possible, right? And I realized that for a lot of that time, I was pretending to be someone I wasn't to impress people that I didn't really care about. And I was very unhappy for a lot of, it's not like I was like but I my anxiety festered. I was very sad a lot. I never felt like I was really achieving much. And what I've realized, particularly this year, is that the more I've embraced the wackiness of myself and the stuff that I like, Pokemon cards, Digimon, PlayStation, Blink, like all these stuff. Like the more I've embraced that and lent into it, Harry Potter, you know, the more, the happier I am. Genuinely, the happier I am, and the more people seem to be drawn to me as a person, from my perspective. And that's something really important that I've learned in 2020. I genuinely have learned that, like, there is no use me pretending to be someone I'm not to impress people that I don't even care about because I want to be cool or attractive or, you know, whatever. Like, the more me I'm being, the more I feel that anyway. And that is the advice that I, Radio Mike, would like to pass on to you, listener of this podcast. I just feel like if there's one lesson I've gotten out of all this, and like, look, I never would have thought I'd be on the Hamish and Andy podcast talking about Pokemon. Never would have thought that. And I would have thought that everyone listening would have thought, this guy's such a loser. He's such a massive nerd. But now I don't care about that because I'm just like, well, that's me. And if you don't like me, that's fine. But there are people who think that that I'm really quirky and funny, and like, not, you know, that's something I'm realizing, that the more I embrace myself, the happier I am. And I guess that's just something that I've learned this year that I wanted to share with you guys on the pod. Let's finish up. We usually do this early in the pod, but today we're doing it late. It's this segment here.
Lost in translation.
Lost in translation is this segment. This segment is, I choose a popular song lyric from a popular song. I put it into Google Translate. I translate it like 20 times through different languages, spit it back out into English. You have to guess the original song. I give you a couple clues. Here was this week's lyrics that came out of Google.
Because of the depth, I tried to lift my head instead of sinking.
Pretty easy one in my opinion, and a few people agreed. A few people got it almost instantly. The first person to get it right was Radio Scooter, who was mentioned earlier in the show. Welcome to the Radio family, Radio Scooter. You can submit your answers via radiomikepod@gmail.com, or you can call the phone number of the podcast, 1-800-438-353. But a few people did get it right, including Radio Kingdom Lazar. Welcome to the Radio family, Radio Kingdom Lazar. Radio Alex Sky again. Welcome to the Radio family, Radio Alex Sky. As you know, the clue was that the band was founded in North America. I will be a bit more specific now and say that they are a Canadian pop punk band. If you still don't know the answer, that's totally fine. I will give you 3 seconds to submit in your mind your final guess for what it was. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The answer to this week's Lost in Translation was this absolute classic song, and audio listeners will hear the song now. Video listeners, sadly, you will not. But it was this classic song by this great, fun band. It was In Too Deep by the band Sum 41, a Canadian pop punk band, as I said. This was one of the first, this song and then the song I'm Just a Kid by Simple Plan, which were both featured in the soundtrack to the 2003 film, I want to say, Cheaper by the Dozen, where Steve Martin has 12 children, one of whom is Hilary Duff. A great family comedy film. I'd love to watch that again and just see how it holds up, because I'm sure it doesn't. They were like the first 2 pop punk songs I remember being really into, and it just sprung my like addiction to that genre. It just totally made me obsessed with it. I loved Sum 41. I still think their music's really cool. I think I talked about them a bit on an episode of this podcast, but yeah, I love this song. I love this band. Next week we're not gonna set a Lost in Translation up for next week because we're gonna do something else next week, but yeah, but nothing. We're just not doing it. It's my podcast. I choose. Guys, I think that's pretty much all we've got time for. I think it's been a bit of a longie today, but that's okay. Happy December. If you're in Melbourne, I hope you're really enjoying the newfound freedom that we've got. If you're not if you're still in a place that's in lockdown, hang in there. We can do it. We're getting through it. And let's wrap it up by saying the following things. Firstly, Harry Potter and the Boys, check it out, subscribe to it. Please listen, share it with your friends, and comment, like on YouTube. That all really helps. leave a written review if you can, or just a 5-star review. That really, really helps. And it also means the world to me to read the positive reviews. So please go and do that. I'd really appreciate that. Same goes for 20th Century Boy. 5 or 4-star review would be great. We do not accept 3 or under. So please, if you are planning on giving the podcast a 3, a 2, or a 1, we don't actually accept those. So you have to give them to another podcast. Radio.Mike on Instagram, content going up there, and the YouTube. Please keep watching the YouTube stuff. Again, there's content going up almost every day on the YouTube, and that's just me trying to build a little following. There's stuff going up. There will be another red carpet catastrophe in the next week, hopefully. It is on the 2014 movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 live action version with Megan Fox in it. So that will be the next one. So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. If you have any Pokemon cards, get in touch. And if you have the Dragonite card specifically, get in touch. And the Mike Talks tomorrow with Ryan Shelton, which is honestly one of the highlights of this podcast existing, because Ryan is awesome. Go check out his stuff as well. And of course, binge the other ones with Jack Post, Broden Kelly, Avanti Donna, Ruben Solo, Luke Kidgel, Dave Lee Down Under. It's all there. That is pretty much all we have time for. Thank you so much for listening. My name has been Radio Mike. Do not block the MDF. This has been The Inside of My Mind. I am a very kind young man, and some of your older staff could learn a lot from me. And finally, don't lie to me, because I saw you. Catch you later, guys. Have a great week. And banana.